We got here, as we talking, we had big outage in Thinkorswim, which was drying up some liquidity. So last few days anyway was already starting to be real slow. If you go to the S&P Spider daily, you're going to look at these ranges here for the last 4 days, right? Almost doing nothing, right? Here, however, we're still green on the month if you go to lower middle, right? Still taking out last week's highs, barely, right? And so then what we had yesterday, if you go to lower middle, I'm going to blow this up for you. And so whenever you have a ridiculously tight range like we had here yesterday, stuff like that, right? More often than not, you're going to take out both sides of that range. Why? Well, because people like to go, I want to go get something that's coiling tight, right? And like it's a tight spring, like it's going to explode. That's not true. Usually there's lack of interest. And so what that means is that people who are trying to trade this, you say, well, I could be short against the high pivot, right? Right? Because that's a tight stop. No big deal. So other guys will be like, I'm going to buy the breakout when it takes it here. So you stop them out, you get some guys trapped in here, and then it starts puking back through the range, right? It's called price discovery, right? So as it comes puking back through here, then you're going to guys who are going to be long against this and this because they can have a tight stop, right? Boom, they're gone. And so what you have here, price discovery broadening formation starts over again. It's going to look like this. Here. See these guys? To the tick-tock ticky. So now you have, this is your 5-minute broadening formation. Tight range in here. And you'll notice here, took these guys out here, right? Then anybody short against any of this stuff, they're gone. Then you come ripping back and take all the longs out. Then you come back to the middle, we start all over again, right? And so you can see this in here. When it goes up, tight range, slight higher high, slight lower low, inside 5, back through the previous range, right? Higher high, lower low, higher high. Now trying to gun back. So the question is, can you take that out, and then can you stay out? That's what price discovery does. And so when you see a continuation pattern like this, here you go. Stop them out. Inside 5 or back to previous range. Now it's got to stay up here. Otherwise, you're in danger of coming back down here. But right now, staying up. So we call that a little triangle, they out. Right? Make sure nobody's in for the real moves, right? Okay, so SPY trying to do that. QQQ here. Also tight range, but better because it held up here. It's still going to the upside, still taking out last month's high, still going towards new all-time highs. So a lot of these things you can keep an eye on. Netflix. All right, let's go to 60. And so this is one we've been tracking for you for a while. I'm just going to get this into a regular time space. Here, if you look at the daily, right? Here on the upper left, higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, right? And then here you can see yesterday slightly took out yesterday's lows. This is a continuation pattern 222 that we look for, right? Here. Take out the high, stop out the low, and then bam, when you come through here, these become an outside bar of all that. Now you're trying to work your way back through this thing, right? Because we knew on the weekly here, chop them up, tight range, inside bar in the upper middle. Slight higher high stops these guys out. Rev Strat comes back and stops all these guys out. And now coming back, so we're going to see if this can take out last week's highs and keep going through the daily broadening formation. That'd be above 497.45. We'll see. We got Amazon waking up, and Amazon's been doing all sorts of nothing, right? We know that inside monther, but then finally, when you get the additional, you can see the tight range in here. Now it's got to stay out of here. If you go to the upper daily, you can see this. The slight lower low to stop them out. Back through the triangle we go, right? And so now it's coming up here. And so the difference between when it was just sitting here doing inside month and doing nothing is you got the signal on the weekly. The slight higher high, the slight lower low, boom, right there. Now you take it out. Now you can see if it can stay outside of that and not be an inside month. You'll see in the lower left, the inside 60 going like that. We got little guy Redo. And Redo coming back in a little bit, but here's something we look for not only the inside monther here, but coming back through previous range, pivot, machine gun. Anybody short this thing is short a whole bunch of this stuff in here, see? So we'll see if that resets up. You've got Procter & Gamble. Procter & Gamble, who they're going to triangle them out on the 60, bringing them back in. So here's what can happen. Exhaustion risk, going into the highs, right, like so, and then coming back through. And then coming back through, so they stop them out, come back through here. We got YY. How's this thing doing? So why? Once again, stop them out on the daily. 2-2 reversal on the daily. Boom. So still inside weak here up in the upper middle. We'll see if we can take care of that. Down here, you're going to see this. Took out the inside month, now coming back through potential outside month, right? If that doesn't give us a reverse, take this out at least up into here, 96.88. You got some more acreage on that. You got microchip MCHP. MCHP, and you can see this also doing that on the monthly in the lower middle, trying to go outside, and you can see this here on the weekly, outside, inside, to the upside, right? After the daily yesterday, did the 2 down, reversal back up. So now you got an inside 60 stalling out a little bit here. See what these markets are doing. They're still trying to lift here as the broader averages. You got LVGO. Also here, what do we look for? Upper left, the inside day to the upside. And what that triggered was the 2-2 reversal weak. Now we're looking to go to the highs, and that's still got some acreage on that thing. So we'll see how that goes here. If you go to the 60, you're going to see this lower left. The 2 up, taking that high out. Take out that low, and boom, right here. Get you right in there and get them going towards the highs. We've got W up to its old tricks. Still a ripper. And W say here, just new highs. So exhaustion risk, but then you get your inside 60. Hopefully you can get the measured move of this. You do have exhaustion risk as you're going into new highs. ZM. And ZM stalls out here a little bit, 2 hours inside this bar here on the lower left. But once again, here's what we're looking to do. Come ripping back through here. Did we talk about the inside day here in the upper left? We sure did. All right, here's your broadening formation, price discovery. Higher high, lower low, higher high, inside day, down, inside day, back up. Right, and this is how you can make more than they actually move, because you do have your weekly signal here, just like Netflix. We've been talking about this one, right? Upper middle, the inside bar, the slight higher high, to stop these guys out here, and now coming back through. So we got a little bit more to take out this 275.09er, and maybe we can go and take this thing out and go to all-time highs. All right, Q's still drifting higher a little bit. We've got Motorola. And Motorola also just on the list of inside weeks to the upside in the middle. It's also taking out last month's highs, so we'll see if anything more comes of that. ZS, just a little inside day and upper here and over here, and so you can see we're looking for the combination. Still red on the month if you get a lower middle, but we can change that if we can get this weekly signal here above 126.50. You're there off the inside day, and you'll see once again the slight lower low. Stop them out. Kodak been jumping around here since I got off here, but oh boy, oh boy, halt fest, and we'll see how this wants to finish off. Nice bar you got. Okay, DraftKings coming up a little bit here too, and DraftKings just want to see if we can take this month here in the lower middle. If you can take that 38.84, might get this thing going, because here's your outside week, right? Up with upper middle, and we're taking those highs out. Now we're looking to see if we can take these out. Here's your slight lower lows. Stop them out. Now you can see the micro try here with this slight higher highs. The question is, you're going to be able to come after that. You do have this good weekly signal. We'll see if that's going to be strong enough to take the month. BE. And BE, so here you can see this on the upper middle, the inside week, and it took it up, but it didn't stay out, right? Didn't get out of here. So those, when you have a new week, these two become an inside bar because you weren't strong enough to get out of the mother bar. So as this breaks, that's still an inside bar break. We call that a compound one, right? Still working there, BE. We'll see if you can get your outside inside 6.15 for you coming here. Oh, in just about 6 minutes. Let's see. Let's get to some downside. You got the chicken eggs puking. He said chicken eggs puking. He did. So a calm inside 60 on the downside, right? Back to the previous range. You took all these guys out, right? And you can see this. This is what you like to see. Bad news when you're coming down with the slight higher high and back through previous range. Puke. Now you got an outside month here in the middle. So we'll see if that sets up again. We've got Western Digi still kind of hurting here. Western Digital. And you can see this. I don't know if that was inside month or Not quite an inside month, but you can see taking out all these previous monthly lows, right? And that's a compound one because all of this is stuck in here, right? But you can see this still going towards the lows with the Qs going up, having all sorts of problems over there. ADS giving us this here, the inside day, back to the downside. You see this tight range here on the daily, and then they try and take it up. And now, boom, back to previous range. That's what we like. Inside day, that's also in the middle, upper, taking out last week's lows. Monthly not doing much, but for right now, you got some little good movement in there. If we go to, let's see here, PLCE, some of the stores and pandemic guys are getting hit again. And PLCE, you can see this in the upper middle, taking out last week's lows. You see this real tight range here, pokes up, and then bam, back through the previous range here. If we go to more retail, having some issues here, KSS. And KSS here, puking back through previous range. That's the last thing you want is a tight range. You leave the middle. Pokes up above there and then back through. That's the last thing you want if you're long, right? And you can see this going inside 60 down slightly. Phillips Van Puken, Houston here, also having some issues off an inside day in the upper left, right? The inside day here. So here's your previous range, right? Here's your price discovery, and here's your back through it, right? And then that's going to give you last week's lows coming out. Monthly, not doing much, like a lot of things, just kind of drying up around in here. So we'll see. If we go to Ulta, and Ulta on the daily. So on the monthly, it's still inside month and up here in the lower middle. But on the daily, it's going to try and stop them out first. You can see this. Here's the 222. Stop these guys out, and then go back up the highs, and then you stop out any shorts there. Now you're coming back through here, 2-2 style on the daily. So the question is going to be weak enough to take this stuff out, or is it just going to be forming these two as an outside bar of that? We'll see how that comes. Apple Group onto the highs right now, and you got OIH selling off, having some issues here, trying to take out last week's lows off an inside day here in the upper middle. Once again, a lot of these monthlies just drying up into nothing. So we'll see what comes of that. You've got NBR and the energies also having some issues here. And there you go, taking out last week's lows, the 2-2 reversal to the downside. Like I said, a lot of these monthlies drying up, and that's why we're doing a lot of things during the day and just kind of picking up on story stocks, because when you have these monthlies doing nothing and you're this deep into the month, right? So if we go to PAYC, and PAYC, you can see this inside on the 60 right now. All right. Still handily inside week and still handily inside month, but we know how this thing moves around a lot, and you can see this in the daily upper left. Like so, the slight higher highs, and you'll see the slight lower lows. All right. So the question is going to be weak enough to come back through all that stuff right now. Like I said, market, we're still recovering. If you go to SPY and the Qs, price discovery, see if we can go all the way back to the highs. That's what they're thinking here. So QQQ. All right, and that's what we call triangle layout. Stop them out in the morning. Make sure nobody wants to pay up, and then lift. There you go, still going off this inside fiver. So what you're going to see is things are very repetitive, as far as what we're looking for, and you just move around on those time frames, and you'll see these similar patterns and everything. We also got MU having some issues here. If I didn't get to that, MU. Still inside month to the downside. Let's get that 60 up. Still having some issues in taking out these lows, right? So stuff like that. Peloton also, as I go on my list here, also still trying to come up here, and that's taking out last week's highs. All right. And here was yesterday, the 2 up, the 2 down, and then boom, back through previous range. Peloton still acting up here. W Day off the list here. How you doing? W Day stalls out, but still one of the things you look for is when the market recovers like it did, you want to look for things that did not sell off, right, when the market did, right? Because anybody who's short got what they wanted. The market came in on the opening. But if their stock didn't do that, you can jam them if we start running into new highs. All right, I think that's going to do it for today. All right, once again, all my videos here at Ticker Talker are free if you come to the Smith and Black channel. Make a video every night. Got a full archive of a lot of webinars and all that kind of good stuff to help get you up to speed on what we're doing. All right, that's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith, the Smith and Black channel here at Ticker Talker with the Strat Time Report.